Wonderful, and thank you for clicking on today's video. Today's video does not need much of an introduction at all. If you clicked on the title, you know what you're in for with today's video. We are talking about things your kitchen doesn't need if you want your kitchen to run a little bit more smoothly and a little bit more organized. The kitchen is the heart of the home, so it's very important to keep this space sort of on lock, organized, tidy, because then the rest of the house tends to fall into place thereafter. So if you're curious how to minimize and therefore have a easy breezy and organized kitchen, keep on watching. So before we get jumping into number one, I do want to apologize if you can hear my dog in the background. He is playing with some toys right now, and you might be able to hear him. He lives here now, so unfortunately sometimes you're going to hear him in the background of my videos. Sorry, not sorry. He lives here now. It's just kind of is what it is. But jumping into number one is the non-default pots, pans, or other. Let me ask you a question. Do you have items in your kitchen, specifically pots and pans is where I tend to find this happens the most. Do you have items in your kitchen that are your favorite, that as soon as they're clean, they're the first one you use when you need to cook? My second question is, do you also have items that you only use when your favorites are dirty? If you answered yes to either of these questions, it's probably because you have non-default items in your kitchen that you don't actually like. I found in my kitchen, I had some pots and pans that I only used when my favorite pots and pans were dirty and needed to be cleaned. And not only did this cause more dishes and therefore more stress at the end of the night, but I found that the cooking process was less enjoyable because I was using items that I didn't even really like. So I try to say when decluttering, especially in your kitchen, you want to do the does it spark joy? You want to do the is it useful to you? Do you use it? But more importantly, do you enjoy using it? Because if you don't enjoy using a specific item and you're only using it just to avoid 5 minutes of washing a dish before dinner or whatever it may be, it's probably something that can get the pitch. I found in my life it was easier once I had less to do the 5 minutes of washing the pan that was dirty before cooking, but some people might not. So I would say pitch it, and then if you find that you really have that hole in your heart and in your kitchen, replace it with something that's a lot better made, a lot better quality, and that you enjoy more so that you don't have to do the whole declutter and repurchase again. Another really important thing to keep in mind with these non-default items is that they do create clutter and storage issues in your kitchen. If you typically only need 1 or 2 pans to cook a meal for your family every night, but you're currently storing 6, 7, 8 pans in your cupboard, just think about the space that can be freed up if you only keep your favorite 2 and get rid of all the ones that aren't very good. Number 2 might be a little bit controversial, but that is a drying rack. You know those racks that sit on the side of people's sinks to dry their dishes and they tend to pile up with dishes and never actually get put away? That's exactly what I'm talking about. If you have a dishwasher, this absolutely applies to you. If you do not have a dishwasher, go ahead and skip this one and move on to the next because this is probably not for you. I find most often that drying racks in people's homes end up become clutter catchers because you do your dishes at the end of the night, you put them in the drying rack, and then they sit and sit and sit and sit and never get put away. So it creates this sort of visual effect of clutter in your home. I also find more often than not, they are germ catchers. With all of that moisture from the dripping dishes day after day, they tend to hold things like bacteria and mold unless cleaned very regularly, but they're also very cumbersome to clean. So they're dirty, they're clunky, they're clutter catchers, they're kind of ugly in my opinion, and I just don't think they're necessary if you have a dishwasher. If you have the occasional hand wash item, I honestly just put a towel on the counter, it dries, and then in the morning I use the towel, dry it completely, and put it away, and it's been no problem in my entire adult life, even in the few instances in my life where I've not had a dishwasher. I find more often than not people have this particular item in their kitchen not because of necessity, but because they bought it assuming it was just something that you're supposed to have in your kitchen, like a kitchen sponge. So I would just consider how often you use it, how often you need it, and if it can be decluttered, because then it clears up a lot of space on your counter, things look cleaner, things are cleaner, and just overall a little bit better. Next on the list is anything and everything that you have too much of. It could be coffee mugs, it could be kitchen knives, it could be cutlery. Whatever it may be, what I highly recommend is taking an assessment of what you actually use in your kitchen, and then even what you actually use in those rare instances, like when you have people over for dinner. If you're only ever hosting 6 people at a time, but you have service for 12 in your house, it may be time to downsize some of those items to free up space in your cupboards and to make putting things away and pulling things out just a little bit more seamless. The next one on my list is probably no surprise if you've been on this channel for any length of time, but that is uni-use items. For some reason, uni-use items tend to multiply in a kitchen just like the plague. Can I say that after COVID? Anyway, they tend to multiply in your kitchen exponentially. I'm talking about the egg slicer, the egg boiler, the avocado slicer, the melon baller, the cherry pitter. All of these contraptions that end up in your kitchen that only have one particular task. If you aren't regularly using these items, whether it be because they're annoying to clean, they don't actually do the job very well, whatever it may be, if you are not regularly using a uni-use item, you need to get it out of your kitchen. They're annoying to store, they're annoying to clean, they're usually not very well made. Get rid of them. Clean up your kitchen, it'll run much more seamlessly, I promise. And then the last one on the list is any surplus of seasonal items. I find, especially in American homes, a surplus of seasonal kitchenware for every possible holiday that could exist. So a lot of people have, Christmas stuff. Totally normal, makes sense. But I've also known people who have Halloween, Valentine's Day, Arbor Day, President's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever it may be. And these are often people who do not host events on every single one of these holidays. So I'm not opposed to having seasonal dishware. I would just say, just like with anything else, take an assessment of what you actually use and what you actually need versus what you have, what you think is pretty, and what you think is nice. Just because it's pretty doesn't mean you need to own it, especially if you're not using it. So take an assessment. When I took an assessment of my own kitchen, I realized the only time I really host people or care to have seasonal decor is Christmas, and then a couple of pieces for Halloween. And that's it. And I find that my kitchen is more organized. You're gonna hear this a lot in this video, but more organized. It runs more seamlessly. I have less dishes, less to clean up, etc., etc. So just like with anything else, take an assessment, determine what you need, what you don't, and try to make some money selling the seasonal decor that you're not using anymore. And that is gonna be it for my list today, guys, of the things that your kitchen absolutely does not need. If you found the video helpful, please give it a like and leave a comment down below letting me know something that you are going to get up right now and declutter out of your kitchen. Please subscribe if you're not already, and like this video. 1 like equals 1 treat for Bailey being here. And with all of that being said, I'll see you in a couple days with another video. Bye.